The New York Jets made plenty of sexy additions and trades and free agent signings and everything else, but there's one that is the most overlooked and underrated this offseason. We discuss. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gashgarn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gashgarn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your friggin' podcast, everybody. And we're streaming live right now on the Heavy on Jets Facebook page. Heavy is where I work and cover the New York Jets every day. Also, youtube.com/BoyGreen25 and Twitter @BoyGreen25 as well. And at 2:41 a.m., what was going on then? Who knows? But shout out to Travis, who officially joined the Boy Green Coffee Club this morning, which is a YouTube membership. It's my only level of membership that you can currently have right now. For $2.99 a month, you can help support the show every month. And that's a cool way to do it. Get priority replies and all this other jazz here on the show. So thanks to Travis for joining the army, baby. We appreciate you. And the most overlooked and underrated piece for the New York Jets is the addition of backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor, baby. And this inspiration for this video today, which, by the way, we're less than a month away from the first practice for the New York Jets in training camp, so we're slowly getting there. But I was reading Zach Rosenblatt's column. He did this column where he broke down the 90-man roster and gave comments on each of the 90 players that are on the roster. And this is what he said in his piece. Aaron Rodgers skipping mandatory minicamp gave Tyrod Taylor an opportunity to get some reps with the first-team offense. It was immediately clear how much of an upgrade he is over Zach Wilson. Taylor might be the best deep ball thrower of any number 2 quarterback in the league and still has mobility, but tends to hold on to the ball too long and can miss some easy throws in the intermediate area. Guys, we have a professional backup quarterback. This is a guy going through some of the particulars that has appeared in 92 games, has made 58 starts. He's 500 as a starter, 28 wins, 28 losses, 1 tie thrown there in the mix, 12,000 passing yards, 65 touchdowns to 29 interceptions. You love to see a plus 2-to-1 ratio there. That's very nice. And also, you may not know this, but a dual threat guy that when you look at the rushing, he had the most rushing yards last year that he's had since 2017. He had 197 yards rushing last season for the New York Giants. And again, that's the most he's had dating all the way back to 2017, which was 7 years ago. So he showed last season he still got some juice in the legs. And I would say, you're like, whoa, where'd this running come from? If you look at the last batch of years, obviously he has transformed from a spot starter, obviously in Buffalo, to kind of a career backup in Cleveland, with the Chargers for a few years, Houston, most recently the Giants before he came here to the Jets. He's been a backup, so that kind of explains some of the numbers that have kind of disappeared in the corner. And very, very interesting. By the way, Tyrod Taylor this offseason signed a 2-year deal for $12 million, average of $6 million per year, signing bonus of $4 million, $8.5 million guaranteed at signing. And it reminded me of this interview that I did with RG3. You guys may have seen it. And I want to play a clip from that. We're going to throw that up on the screen real quick of my interview with RG3, because we talked about Tyrod Taylor during that conversation. So we're going to play a little bit of that interview here. It's a long clip, so I wanted to make sure we just play a piece of it. Here you go. This is RG3, Robert Griffin III, ESPN analyst and longtime former NFL quarterback, talking about Tyrod Taylor on the New York Jets.
Sure. So when you have a backup, what can he bring to the table that is different than your starter? And the reason I say that is a lot of teams will try to get the same guy. Hey, we got Aaron Rodgers. We're going to go to Wish, and we're going to get Aaron Rodgers from Wish. We're going to try to get that guy.
Right.
Well, if Aaron Rodgers is a West Coast guy, doing all the things, making all the reads, doing it like you're supposed to do in the NFL, a couple off-schedule plays, well, the guy behind him is going to do that at a much, much significantly lower rate.
Right.
So go get a guy that plays a little bit different than your starter. It'll help you in your game planning, and that's what Tyrod is for the Jets. Just to stay on the Jets, he has more off-schedule playmaking ability than Aaron Rodgers does. That means that if you get him out there, and maybe he's lesser here in this area, he's greater in this area. You lean into his strengths. That's going to help you for about 2 to 3 games as teams try to figure out your tendencies. And Tyrod's been good to be on the field.
And there's some more there, but one of the quotes I wanted to share from the tweet, it's also here. He later said this, quote, "I'd say that Tyrod Taylor is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL. You could make an argument that he could be a starter given a chance. The fans should feel good about him because he can make plays if things aren't there." And also, the kind of scouting profile on Tyrod is he does have a bazooka attached to his arm, and you heard Zach Rosenblatt kind of ranting about that in his article for The Athletic. But another thing that is good for Tyrod Taylor is that he's never had a double-digit interception season. Now, again, you have to put that in proper context because he only became a true starter in the 2015-2017 range with Buffalo. So it's been limited opportunities of him just being the guy. But the seasons are incredible. 20 touchdowns, 6 picks, 17 touchdowns, 6 picks, 14 touchdowns, 4 picks. This is a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So when we talk about Zach Wilson and a guy that has constantly put the team in terrible situations, which has been Zach Wilson, and costing them games and putting them in terrible positions, that's where all of a sudden things immediately pile drive and go south. A guy like Tyrod Taylor is not going to cost your team. And let's give another shout out because we have a party going on. Snowball, now an official member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Snowball's been a long appreciator of this program, and now he's officially in the club. Shout out to Snowball. We got 2 members on the show so far live while we're doing this thing. I love it. So shout out to Snowball for joining the army, baby, and Travis as well. Another one, DJ Khaled, for joining the group as well. Again, it's very easy for any of you guys who are watching want to jump on the bandwagon, baby. Now is the time. So appreciate it, Snowball. Welcome to the party. And I appreciate that, Jared. Jared B., another member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, saying my favorite interview that you've done, Paul. And yeah, I was talking with Connor last night. We have a brand new show if you guys want to check that out. Monday nights at 9 o'clock, it's me and Connor Long, the superstar 12-year-old New York Jet fan, and we have a new show that's streaming live on this channel and cross-streamed on his channel as well, and my Twitter account. And it was a great reception. And I will tell you, we had a private conversation after the show, me and Connor. And one of the things we were kind of referencing or talking about is he loved that RG3 interview. And he said he didn't get a chance to tell me. And yeah, I had been chasing that one for a long time. And we'll have RG3 back on before the season. He was an absolute pleasure to have on the show. Loved his insights. He's got a unique, interesting path. I think he's entertaining. Yeah, he's a fun guy. So shout out to RG3. And I got another big one cooking. So I'll keep you guys posted on that coming up here in the near future. But back to this Tyrod Taylor thing. And I just want to say bluntly that it just feels good to know that if things go south, we're going to be okay. And I think this is something else we have to address on the show. Everyone thinks that Tyrod Taylor was signed just in case Aaron Rodgers' leg explodes. And sure, he would be serviceable to step into the situation and do that, but that's not why the Jets got Tyrod Taylor. They did get him so they have that, red emergency crank that if you do that, it'll be Tyrod Taylor, not Zach Wilson or something. So yes, that part is true. But to be honest, it's for the more reasonable things that happen. It's a 17-game season, people. A 17-game season. which means with the trials and tribulations and the physicality and what have you, that more times than not, some of these guys, like Aaron Rodgers, might miss a game or two. It's not about missing the season. Sure, could that happen? Of course. We just saw it last year. But it's about the small pocket runs where Rodgers can't be there for 2 or 3 games, and then all of a sudden, booyah, you are there and you are available for the team. So to me, I think that's the big thing. That why Tyrod Taylor is here and why I feel confident with Tyrod Taylor. Now, the one concern is what Jared B just said. And Phil said as well. Jared B says the only thing with Tyrod is durability. Phil says Tyrod Taylor is a serviceable backup when healthy, And I will tell you this, both of you bring valid points. Before free agency started, I did a top 5 list. I love doing those, but I did a top 5 list of the free agents I would avoid. And one of the names on that list, I have to be candid, I have to be honest, was Tyrod Taylor. And why was that? It was the injuries. That was my main primary reason as we were looking at the backup quarterback waters that seemed to be a point of emphasis for the New York Jets. It seemed to be a point of emphasis. And I was like, oh boy, durability. I don't know about that one. That could be an issue as I thought about it a little bit. But the other thing that we can't, sure, so he's had some injuries, but the other thing it's hard to kind of get a full understanding of it, quite frankly, is when you look at Tyrod Taylor's history, it's hard to judge when the injuries were outside of just knowing when the injuries were because he's been a backup. So, the games of action of 11-3, 6-2, 8-4, and then into the seasons of where he was the real starter, 14, 15, 15, with the Buffalo Bills, it's hard to get a great gauge on that. But it seems like, especially from a Jets fan, because he got hurt from the Michael Clemens preseason hit. He got hurt in the Jets-Giants game last year on the sideline where Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets had to come in and all that jazz. That's where we got into some trouble. So that is a legitimate concern. But you can only be as deep as you are. And what I mean by that is it's unlikely that the Jets could have a third quarterback on the roster that is of Tyrod Taylor's level or something similar. We have this spot starter. That's not very realistic. It's hard. Now, maybe because even if you curried a interesting guy a favor and put in a veteran there, that's where obviously things can happen. And by the way, Tyrod Taylor, let me get you it here. I believe he's 34 and he turns 35 in August, if I remember. And that is correct. He's 34, he turns 35 in August. So he's older, not Aaron Rodgers old, but he's up there. But I just feel confident to know that if A-Rod goes down for any period of time, that Tyrod Taylor can step in and be a critical piece for this team. He's a veteran. He's someone you can believe in. He's someone that can step in. He's got mobility still. Obviously, the statistics speak for themselves of the mobility that he still has with him and together. But yeah, he is just underrated because people, for whatever reason, it's a backup and the Jets did a lot of sexy things this offseason. It's overlooked. It shouldn't be considering what happened last year with the New York Jets. Oh, I hear what Jared's saying. He's saying his contract will be up when he's 37. Well, technically, his contract will be up when he's 36 because he'll turn 37 later that year. But I understand your point. Yes. And, but Tyrod Taylor, to me, is a very, very important piece to the puzzle that should make you feel good. And the other thing that inspired this show, to be honest with you, so I do these shows with Woody live at 3 o'clock on Tuesdays, Thursdays. We'll have another one of those shows later today. And on that show, it was last week, we did what are the top 5 positions on the roster you feel most confident in heading into training camp? Now, either most confident or strongest. And we kind of talked about the debate of that word and why they're not the same thing. For instance, strongest, you probably wouldn't put running back. Like Breece Hall's really good, but the rest of the room is a bunch of unknowns. So, is that one of the strongest groups on the team? I don't know. That's like, for instance, Mike Clay of ESPN. He ranked the Jets' defensive tackle room 20th in the NFL. You're like, 20th? What about Quinnen Williams? Well, Quinnen Williams is really good, but he had questions about all the backup guys. So, that was an interesting question. One of the things that stood out to me, though, was the quarterback. when he said, Woody asked the question, like, what's the most confident rooms in the Jets, team that you feel confident? I'm like, a quarterback, man. Aaron Rodgers is a 4-time NFL MVP. Tyrod Taylor is a guy that's got experience. He can get it done. And it's not like he had experience from 1,000 years ago. Last year, he was forced into starting opportunities because of the series of injuries that happened. Last year, Tyrod Taylor appeared in 11 games, made 5 starts, went 2-3 during that time. He was playing for the freaking Giants, for Pete's sake. And he had a 64.4% completion percentage. Sign me up for that based on what we've seen recently. And there's enough of the numbers here that intrigue you, and just the live action of you're like, okay, all right, Tyrod Taylor still has something, and you can see why the Jets were intrigued by it, and the locker room guy as well. Peter Campisi throws in that NFL Live, Mediacom's pick Jets defense number 2 overall. They're friggin' phenomenal. I love it. And Matthias says, Taylor is a top backup quarterback, but Rodgers playing the whole season. Yeah, and let's go to that, Matthias, because to me, Tyrod Taylor is volcano insurance. Is it likely here in New York that a volcano is going to explode on my house? I would imagine not. But it's nice to have the volcano insurance just in case. And that's what Tyrod Taylor is. Volcano insurance. And that's how I feel. Absolute volcano insurance just in case. And shout out to Roger. Connor gave him a shout out last night. Good morning, everyone. Glad to be home having coffee with the boys. Pretty much pain-free walking from neck surgery. Now back to business. Roger, we were thinking about you, man. So I'm glad that you're back okay. Glad that you're back okay, pal. Dave asks, Tyrod Taylor is average at best. If Superman doesn't deliver this year, this team is hosed just like last year. This is, again, where I push back. Sure. If Aaron Rodgers' other leg explodes, yes. Yeah, the Jets are unlikely winning the Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor. But you have to not think about that scenario. The scenario you have to think about is the more realistic scenario. Rodgers trips up and bangs his hammies out for 2 weeks. That could be a critical 2-week stretch. I know a lot of people prognosticated the Jets are going 16-1 and 15-2 and all this other jazz. But let's say they're fighting for a wild card spot. I think they're fighting for the division. But let's just say in this made-up scenario, they're fighting for a wild card spot. That 2-game gap, you can't just go, well, I guess those are 2 L's. Hell no. You're a football team. T-E-A-M, Dave. So if Rodgers goes down for a very small period of time in 2024, the Jets just need Tyrod Taylor to hold the boat afloat, which he has proven to do throughout his entire career. And somehow every year he finds his way into the lineup at various points. At various points. It always seems like something happens where he gets in. I hope he doesn't get in. Again, I hope we don't see him except for preseason. He's throwing preseason bombs to like Jeremy Ruckert or something. I don't know. But do we need to focus more on the more likely scenario, which isn't a season-ending injury? Those don't happen every day. What we need to prepare for is the more likely scenario of a handful of missed games and Tyrod Taylor with this incredible roster being able to deliver. That's it. John Sauer says, good chat with Connor yesterday. Enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fun. It was different. And Connor ran all the calls. So all the people calling in, the super chat, like Connor ran the whole show. I did not touch any of that. I was just Connor's guest, so to speak, on the program. And he did a wonderful job. It was exciting to talk with Connor and all the fans. I got to talk to new fans who are calling in. Some I had never heard from before, like Debo, Falcons fan. That was cool. So shout out to everyone who showed into the show last night. Again, that is a Monday nights at 9 o'clock. That won't go into the season, because obviously Connor goes to school, but also because the Jets play on a Monday night football game and others, the week 1 and other things of that nature. So this will only be a show that's going on for the summer and a little bit of preseason action, but that's it. So enjoy it while it lasts, people, but we'll definitely have it. David asks, what is your June Jets record predictions? Losses to whom? Well, I will be officially, so this Sunday, me and my father, we've been going through the schedule in like 4-packs, 5-packs, because it's 17 games, so we had to do 1 5-pack in there. And we've been giving you analytics on the ESPN projection models, their depth chart, interesting news and nuggets on all these teams the Jets are playing. So we have one more to do. That is going to be on Sunday, June 30th, that morning show with my father. And then the following week, so I assume either that Saturday, it'll either be July 6th or 7th, whichever day he's available. We will give our official schedule prediction. We're going to go through the whole shish kebab. After breaking down the full schedule and giving you guys all the details, then we will go through it and give our official wins and losses. So that's coming up here in the near future. So it won't technically be a June prediction. It'll be a July prediction. I also will be doing a 53-man roster projection here on the show, and I'll have an article about it. We can talk about it live here on the show. That'll be coming up here in the near future, too. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. I am really looking forward to that. Let's go to Snowball here. Again, member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Do the Jets have a list of players who have decided to stay at one Jets drive until training camp? They do, but that is not a public list because, again, that wouldn't be fair to keep attendance on something that is in the same essence voluntary in that same light. So they do. There's a few. I don't want to misspeak. I think there are a few players I know that are there for the full time. So, but I don't want to misspeak and say they are and they're not. But there are. And to be honest, if I'm an NFL player and I'm not going to like Guatemala or something, the fact of the matter is, why wouldn't I want to stay at an NFL facility? You get fed. That was a funny bit at the end of the second mandatory minicamp press conference. Solid said, yeah, we feed him morning, breakfast, lunch, and he believes dinner as well. So you can be at an NFL facility, get all kinds of free meals, get the best workout equipment, have the best staff. Now, you can't just talk playbook and stuff like that. So you can't do any of that jazz while they're there. But everything else is fair game. So why wouldn't you want to be in the building for that, to be honest with you? So, yes, Snowball, there is a list. Number one. Number two, they don't make that list public. So it could just be reporting on our part to share it. But yes, that is true. 100%. Good morning to Tio, Uncle Tio here in the chat. And also, I don't know if you guys saw this. So again, we're going to have more details on this. Actually, I should have more details later today at 3 o'clock. I've got a phone call as I'm headed to the radio station about this Jets-Patriots game. Connor Long and his father are now coming. So we're going to have Connor. We're going to have my dad. We're Connor's dad, my dad, me, Woody, Nick Shine, Uncle Tio. Like, the list is growing and growing, so we will keep you guys posted. We should have an official ticket price coming up here in the very near future, a tailgate price coming up very near future. We're making shirts. Oh, it's going to be spectacular. This is for the Jets home opener against the New England Patriots. Again, I've been giving you guys a couple teaser nuggets, but we're working on all those details. I'm trying to finalize them as quickly as possible. So if and when you guys would like to also join us for that game and where we're all going to be sitting, that is going to be it. And I see Darren here asks, nice hat, Paul. What's on the side of it? You got the state of New York. This is the official Jets draft hat from this year. I'm a draft freak, and I am a draft hat collection freak. I have like every Jets draft hat for like the last 1,000 years over on that wall, which is now, with all the movement of this office space and being in this new place, it's flat against this wall, and then you take a left, and then you just keep going down that hallway. There's Jonathan Vilma fatheads and hats and everything else that's over there. So I appreciate it. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this. We'll open up the phone lines here on the show, and we'll get your guys' thoughts. But I'll just reiterate that I am so thrilled with Tyrod Taylor. I know I shared my concerns before we signed him, in free agency. Who are the top 5 free agents I would avoid? Gabe Davis was on that list. There's a lot of random players on the list. It'd be fun to go back and see who those players were. But I think the only player that we signed that was on the list was Tyrod Taylor. And again, it's for everything we already said, which was the injuries, and which have happened, which makes you think, oh boy, the guy up front is covered by the other guy. But you just got to play with some chutzpah. That's it. Video link to join is now in the comments section. So if you guys are watching on any of the other features, Facebook, Twitter, you must hop on over to youtube.com/boygreen25 to join the show. That is the pinned comment on the YouTube channel. And you guys can feel free to call into the show. We had a lot of great calls last night, so shout out to everybody for me and Connor's first show in the huddle. It was spectacular. And speaking of spectacular, number one, this first caller was on that show last night, and we have the same hat right now. So let's bring him in. We do not. I'm colorblind.
Oh,
Bobby.
Hold on. I have to turn on the other one. Sorry. I have to turn on YouTube for a minute because, it echoes.
Oh,
So
yeah,
how
that's
you
right.
do it this morning? I enjoyed you guys yesterday. You guys were awesome.
Well, thank you, Bobby. I really appreciate that.
And I'll be there every Monday for you guys.
That means a lot.
Connor is so smart, isn't he? At
Oh
12.
yeah, smart as a whip. I was talking to my fiance last night before the show because I told her, "Hey, I'm doing this new Monday night show," and
Yeah.
I said, "Man, I have no idea what I was doing at 12." But I'll tell you this: it wasn't writing for the Jets. He writes for Jets X Factor now.
I
He does these
know. At
podcasts.
12, I was delivering newspapers.
Well, see, there you go. Like you're even better. You and him are better than me because I was probably doing something stupid at 12. So
Well, don't worry about it. Not everybody wants to work at 12. I wanted the extra money. I was getting an allowance, but
yeah,
what allowance?
yeah.
And then Edmonton lost.
Yeah, I know, and it's we must
Yeah.
have jinxed it because on our radio show we had to make picks.
Mhm.
We had to make picks to like for it, and everyone at our radio station picked Edmonton, so it must have been bad luck, bad mojo, I guess.
Yeah. I hate the Panthers. They got lucky.
Yeah, there you go. That's our
But I
first
was
Stanley Cup
happy with
ever.
your Celtics, though.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You see, they had that parade in Boston.
Yeah, the duck boats. They were at the Red
duck
Sox
boat,
game
yeah.
last night. Yeah, the first pitches for Tatum and Brown and a bunch of those guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Did
very
the Red
nice.
Sox win yesterday?
I don't know.
They
I'm
didn't
not
win
sure.
many.
Yeah,
I was too busy on your show.
as apparently I was too busy on my own show too, so I don't know. But
But you guys did A+. I think you guys make a good team.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the chemistry's nice, and I'm looking forward to it. So we should have, in the next celebration, let's hope is a Jet Super Bowl, baby.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when are you gonna find out when you go to the home opener? When are the prices coming out?
It should be. Let me see. So today's June 25th. I believe it's somewhere in the next 2.5 weeks. Here is that we're finding out. So they just need official word from the Jets before it's official. Like I have a number in my head, but I just want to make sure it's reasonable for all things considered, and plus we have the tailgate and everything else. So that'll be coming out soon.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it, Bobby. So yes, again, ticket price and everything. Again, I have a price in my head that I believe it's going to be, but I don't want to sell you guys short and be wrong. And plus, you guys can't buy it right now anyway, so I don't want to sell you guys up the river for that. But we do. Again, Jets Patriots, it's happening. I'm going. That's official. The only thing that's not official is all these other details that have to be hammered out here in the near future. And don't worry, there will be. So I'll keep you posted as information comes to me. And someone asked, and this is a perfect setup for our next caller, Blitz BK asked, "Hey, Paul, have you seen the video for the new Jets anthem?" And I've seen it dancing around in the digital media streets as maniac for Jake Asman. And let's bring him in. The voice of God, the voice of Jet fans, and editor, rapper extraordinaire, superstar, Billboard Top 100 guy. I'm not even sure how he has time for this show, quite frankly, but let's bring him in. T.O. Uncle VR here on the program.
What is going on, Boy Green Paul? I mean, all those accolades, man. I appreciate you. None of those. Just doing a project that I thought was, in my heart, something that I thought about for a long time. I said, the Jets, we've suffered with the Jets for as long as I've been a fan.
Yes.
We've been heartbroken. And, there's rarely a time in my existence that I've seen this team win. And when we win, we get our hearts broken at the end. We don't finish. We don't complete the task at hand. And so this year, and I thought it originally last year, but this year, I really think that we have an opportunity, a chance, more than any other year that I could remember, to actually complete the assignment, to win. So in my heart of hearts, as a Jet fan that has been hurt, that has been taken through the ringer over the years, 98, 2010, 2011, even back in 82. All those years, and the OGs in the chat, coffee crew, coffee club, and you and I, and many of the, Jet content creators, the reason why we are the best fans, the reason why there's so many of us that love this team, and the media. I mean, like the Greenbergs and the Rich Eisens and the, George R.R. Martins and the Tony Sopranos. The reason why is because this team, there's something special about the green and white. And so for me to put that out there, I said to myself, it's been a while. I mean, I think the Jets have a fight song, but like we don't have something like the Knicks, like, go New York, go New York, go.
Right.
So I thought about it and I said, this is the year that I think we need something to signify our history, our nostalgia, our fans, our heart, our current and present, our situation, our future. If you put it out there in the universe, it'll happen. And that's what the song, that's what the anthem is all about. It's about taking my heart and wringing it out and putting it on paper, and then putting that all together and having some fun with it too. So I try to.
You can feel the passion.
I try to put my heart and my soul into it, and I hope everybody enjoys it. I'll link it in the chat, but it was a project of love. It was a project of hurt. It was like a love story.
I felt it. There was some sweet, passionate love happening there while that was made. There's no question.
Sometimes love stories hurt, but as long as that old saying, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all.
True.
So I appreciate you giving me the time to talk about that.
Of course.
And I appreciate you.
Thanks,
and I
man.
appreciate everybody in the chat. That's pretty much all I had to say. I'm exhausted, bro.
That's all right.
When you guys were doing the show with Connor, I apologize. I really wanted to catch that. I'm gonna run it back and watch it. But I heard already this morning, nephew and everybody, that you guys did for your first show. The camaraderie and everything between you two was excellent. It was an awesome show. I mean, Connor, man, I can't say enough about that dude. He is the real deal, man. Like he's smart, intelligent. He has the voice.
Mm-hmm.
He really thinks on his feet, and he does a show like by himself, and I really give him credit because he has no one to like kind of bounce off of.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I mean, he does such an excellent job. So props to him, props to you. That show is going to go far. I just want to, I want to make sure and catch it, like right after this, and run it back and check it out. But great job.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, more details to come and all that jazz. Plus Tio, future appearance happening here at Boy Green Daily on this side. Welcoming people. I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Tio.
Absolutely. Take care.
Right. Beautiful. And great to have Tio there on the program. I'm hearing people asking about the shop stuff and shot class and other things we could put in Jeff's Afterburner podcast, asking about it. We will continue to add things to the shop that people want. And I will try to do everything in my power to make sure to do that. So, yeah, you guys can check out the Boy Green Shop officially in the YouTube description down below. All right, let's jump back over to the phone lines. We got NY Jets FL here on the program. What's up, pal?
Morning, Paul. Since we're waxing poetically about the Jets, Paul, we have years and years of emotional scars, which can only make us stronger.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as last year, the biggest excitement I had was 08 and 09. I went to the Super Bowl that year thinking it was be the Jets, and of course the Steelers broke our heart.
Yeah.
My point is that sorry, I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
No,
All
that's
right,
okay.
let me go out. Yeah. My point is that we've had so many years of scars, and we still come back to the same team with the same level of passion. After the Zach Wilson debacle, year to year, you turn over a new leaf and you move on quickly. So after the Rodgers injury, you knew Zach Wilson wasn't going to take us anywhere. We had some flashes and things like that, but it wasn't going to amount to much, especially without a backup.
I will admit I tried again after he goes down, right? And then they win the game. You're like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, wait. I've seen this story before. Dick Vermeil, he said, we will rally around Kurt Warner. I'm like, Zach Wilson is our Kurt Warner. He was probably bagging groceries when he was 12. Like, okay, this can work. We can rally around this guy, and everyone cast him aside, and now he's going to be the hero, and Aaron Rodgers is going to be like his Yoda, and it's all going to be great. And for a while, I convinced me, and then the Chiefs game, I'm like, see, people, I was right. He's Kurt Warner. And then it all fell apart. But for some fleeting moments, I was like, wait a second, baby. The mission is still a go. But it was not. No.
Exactly. Flashes in the Eagles and the Chiefs game and here and there, just not enough. Not enough for us. Paul, I was fortunate enough maybe 10 years ago to do some work for the Buccaneers. And I actually went into their facility for lunch. Okay, anyone who wants to stay at the facility, the Bucs facility was first class. I mean, literally the doors were 6 foot wide and 20 feet tall to get into the cafeteria. I mean, everything was first class. Food, a buffet, 2 chefs, omelet station. This is lunch. Okay, I'm talking pasta, chicken, whatever you wanted, burgers. Like, the nicest spread you're going to have. I'm sure these guys may get better, nutritional quality now, but anyone who stays at the facility is going to get, more power to them. You know what I mean? They don't have to be off site to get the, like you said, the training and the nutrition they can get at the facility. So that's about all I got. Oh, Paul, I might be able to make the opening game. So definitely, I might be able to do it. So I was able to get a cheap flight into Long Island, and then I have to take the route out, like a bus or a train to get to Manhattan, and then the bus. But the flights were so cheap, I had to do it so I could put the money into the ticket. So let us know, Paul. And as always, I appreciate it, and I'll catch up on your stream because my schedule's been crazy. So thank you, Paul. You have a great one.
All right, you too, pal. And just so you know, for anyone that could join us live, it's fun. You guys can interact with me, and that's a way to do it. But for anyone who doesn't, and there's 2 ways that people do the audio podcast. I have a lot of loyal audio listeners that don't ever watch a video, and they only hear the words that are coming out of my mouth right now and the words that came out of NY Jets FL, and they prefer the audio-only version. And I think I've told you guys this before. My original Jet show that I did for like 10 years, it was a little bit on the radio terrestrially here on the FM dial at my college radio station, and then thereafter as an audio podcast, was audio only. And that's the only way you could hear me. There was no visual. You were probably better off, to be God honest, the God honest truth with you. You probably didn't want to look at this mug, and you preferred the audio only version. However, it eventually flipped over to the video side as well. So long story short, to NY Jets FL's point, and Tio said it earlier, the Me and Connor show, you can rewatch it. I'm going to be honest, I am a big fan of the Rich Eisen show. I watch a lot of his stuff after the fact on YouTube. That's how I catch it in the car when I'm moving and grooving and going all about. So, it's a lot of wonderful stuff. So however you consume us, whether it's audio, whether it's the video after the fact, that is all available. Again, just go to my YouTube section, and everything's in the live section because that's a lot of the video content on this channel. But there's also others like the Cole Laval interview, the RG3 interview. On top of it being live, we also have it in the video section as well if you prefer watching it from that side. So shout out to everybody for that. And we appreciate you. So again, anyone that is thinking about going to Jets Patriots and you're considering buying tickets, try to hold off a little bit because, like I said, in about 2 weeks' time, we will have all the official stuff where you guys can get tickets with us. It's going to be me and Nick Shine, and we're going to be combining our forces, and we're going to all try to sit together And so if you guys hold out and don't buy your tickets right now randomly, wherever you would buy your Jets Patriots tickets, you can be with us. You can also be with us for the pregame tailgate. We're working on all kinds of awesome stuff for that too. So again, patience is a virtue. Hang on tight. Again, as soon as I get off this and I get my stuff ready to go to the radio station, I'm doing a phone call on the way to the radio station about all this stuff behind the scenes, the shirt, the tickets, and all that jazz. All of that is happening. So, guys, just hang on tight. We'll have that for you here soon. Early mid-July, we should have those additional details for you on where you guys can all buy your tickets. You can lock in your spot, and we can all be together for the game. That's going to be so friggin' cool. I've never done anything like this before where I gather and rally a bunch of us together. I've gone to games with my dad. It's just me and him, and then also a lot of crazy Jet fans around us. But I haven't done a thing where we all buy our tickets together in one central part. We get to party in the pregame, get to party during the game, and see each other. Oh, I'm just, man, I'm drooling about it to put all that together. So sitting together, tailgating together, all that jazz. It's going to be beautiful. And let me see this. The nice new setup, SG_31 black. Bring the boy green jersey back. It's right here. It's right here, actually. But I'm rearranging everything here. I also have several jerseys that need to be, framed up. I got a Sauce Gardner autographed jersey. I got a Tone Time autographed jersey. That one I got off my own back. I've got all kinds of other jerseys. We do have the boy green jersey, so we'll probably move that up here. There's a big gap right here. We'll probably move our old boy green jersey back up there, but we will make that happen. All right, before we get out of here, Jared B says, Paul, pick your top 5 Jets wide receivers of all time. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, let me get a pen out here. I got a little sheet here. Let me see. All right, let me see what I want to do here. I already know several, but I just want to pull up the numbers here. Okay, and let's go. Okay, so off the top of my head, before I even look anything up, okay, things that are people on the list. Don Maynard is on that list, so got to put Don Maynard there. Obviously, he's on there. Boy, and now we're going to get into some funky territory because there's guys I forget. So Jericho Catry, screw it. I'm putting him in that. I love Jericho Catry. He's going on that list, baby. How could you not put Jericho Catry on that list? I want to put Lavernius Coles, who I love a lot. He's another guy. Screw it. I'm putting Lavernius Coles on there. Yep, let's put him on there. I don't really know what he's been doing in his post-playing career with the 33rd team stuff, but hey, you know what? I love Lavernius Coles. Got to put him on there. And, this is a guy that was here for a year and a half, but he has the greatest single season in Jets receiving history. How do you not put Brandon Marshall on the list? I mean, he had that incredible year, 109 catches, 1,502 yards, 14 touchdowns. Brandon Marshall, how does he not appear on your top 5 list? And now we get funky because you could go history, could go like an Al Toon potentially on the list. Wayne Corbett certainly has a case. If you put Garrett Wilson already in your top 5, obviously that's a compelling case potentially to be made there. That could be on the list. There's no doubt about it. That could be another one that stands out. I have not made my official, again, my top 4 right now are in no particular order. Don Maynard, Jericho Catry, Lavernius Coles, Brandon Marshall. Wow. You could put Keyshawn. I guess he could be in that conversation potentially. A couple of 1,000-yard campaigns during his career. Santana Moss was fun for a very short bit of time. Yeah. Oh, Wesley Walker. How could I forget about Wesley? Obviously, oh boy, this is tough. Ah, boy, oh boy. Yeah, you got to go Wesley Walker. I got to go Wesley Walker, man. I was going to put Wayne Corbett, but, you sometimes, it's funny that Jared B asks questions. You sometimes do this bit, and you go through, you're like, oh boy, are there 5 to pick from? It gets very, very slim on the quarterback conversation. But wide receiver, the Jets are overloaded as it pertains to wide receivers. I mean, guys that didn't make this cut, how did Al Toon not make this list? how did Wayne Corbett not make this list, this top 5? They've got a really nice history here of wide receivers. Like, there's a couple of guys there, and Garrett Wilson has a chance, obviously, to jump into this conversation here in short order. He would be on that list. Keyshawn Johnson is a guy that has a compelling case when you start going through some of these names. There's no doubt about it. Eric Decker, again, he had some moments, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5. I love Rob Moore, Syracuse guy. He's honorable mention. Robbie Chosen, Robbie, the chosen one. God knows whatever names he went by. Shout out to the flight crew, Braylon Edwards, who I love a lot. Tone Time, very short runs with the New York Jets, but those are all compelling themselves. I see Plaxico Burress. He did shoot himself. That was with the Giants, I might add, not with the Jets. A nice little run there with the Jets. But that just goes to show that the list is incredible. I mean, you could do your own show on this top 5 list, but I feel pretty good about it. We got history dominator, Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's got to be on the list. Brandon Marshall, again, he has the greatest single season in Jets history. And while the run was very short, very brief, a year and a half, how do you not put Brandon Marshall on the list? Come on. And then a couple of my faves. I love Jericho Cotchery. I love Lavernia Scholes. I love those guys. And then Wesley Walker, another tip of the cap ode to history. I mean, he had some games. Okay, he had some games. He had a career, quite frankly, for the Jets. That's got to be the top 5. I'm locking it in. Boop, boop. Lock it in, baby. Got to go there on the top 5. Great job. Thank you, Jared, for the fun end to that for the show. I appreciate you. Phenomenal. That's my list, and I feel really great about it. Great list. I get the approval from Jared B on the show. Damn straight, baby. Or there's Johnny Lamb. I'll put him on there, but great list. I appreciate that. There as well. So, yeah, so many good names at wide receiver. It's spectacular. And Garrett Wilson could soon be on that list. We will see what else he could do. How dare you, Phil? You said Cotchery and Coles were good but should make the list. Screw you, pal. Absolutely screw you. Yes, they should be. For instance, let's just go through, just because now we're talking about it here. In terms of, so I have the single season numbers in front of me. Lavernius Coles has 2 of the top 5 reception seasons in Jets franchise history at 91 catches and 89. He has 2 of those top 5 seasons. So shout out there to Lavernius Coles. In terms of receiving yard season, he has a 1,200-yard campaign, which is top 5 all time in that category. So he is prominently featured. This isn't just a homeboy fanboy list. Like, boy, we need to give some love to Lavernius Coles. Absolutely. Gosh darn lootly, baby. But I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for calling in again. And we'll be back live coming up at 3 o'clock with James Woody. I'm looking forward to that show. And then again, more Boy Green Daily tomorrow, which should feature Nick Shine as my guest tomorrow, making another appearance on Boy Green Daily. Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club. What are you waiting for, people? And let's make it happen. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. God bless. Take care.